Hi there, Jan Shegda, Clarity Coaching, and today we're talking about style speak for Enneagram Style 5, the Investigator. So today we're going to talk about how fives communicate, how to communicate with them, and the one thing that they need most from us. So let's start out with how fives communicate. I think if there's one word to sum that up, it would be understated. Fives really hate wasting. Efficiency is very important to them, and they always have a mind for resources being time, energy, money, space, and they want to make sure those are used appropriately, and especially that they personally are not wasting them. So for that reason, if they're speaking with you, you may notice that they use one sentence to describe an idea instead of five, as other people might. Usually, when they do share something, it's more condensed, it's more rich communication than some of the other types have because they take a lot of time to formulate what they want to say. Whereas the rest of us maybe just talk as we think or let ideas form as we're conversing with someone. A five is going to make sure that's all together in their mind first before they put it forth. Because of that, the best way to communicate with a five is to match that style and be brief and straightforward. Worst thing in the world to most fives is being at a party where they have to small talk about endless, mindless topics with a bunch of people. If it's a stimulating conversation about ideas or about facts or about something that's a little bit more concrete, perhaps, or maybe not concrete isn't totally the best word, but something that has some information about it or some purpose to it, then they're usually much more engaged. I've noticed also in the last 10 years or so, since texting has been really big, that most people I know that are fives love texting as their primary form of communication. And if you think about it, what is more brief and straightforward than texting? It's like you don't have to actually engage in the entire conversation, the niceties and the things, kind of all that filler that a lot of us put up with, but that fives especially have a little bit of an allergy to. So the more brief and straightforward, the better when conversing with fives. And the thing that they need most from us is actually they need some space. So, and invitation. So what I mean by that, the pressure on the rest of us, I mean, when we are in relationship with a five, usually the rest of us want to draw that person out. We want to help them engage more with social activities or with the conversation we're having with them. And sometimes we experience some resistance from the five on that. But the thing not to do is to push harder. Fives are actually very sensitive types, and if you try to coerce them into doing something, it's bad news. The best thing you can do is give them invitations. So instead of saying, hey, your aunt's birthday is next week, you should be there, say, hey, your aunt's birthday is next week, it'd be great if you could be there. Here's the time. Hope to see you there. And just kind of leave it. No check-ins, no checking up, letting them kind of be their own independent person, but letting them know that you care and that you want to connect. There's a great resource that's floating around out there called about how to connect with introverts. Maybe some of you have said this or seen this. And one of the main things that they talk about is going into a room, letting that person know that you're friendly and you're available for connection, and then kind of letting them be, going and busying yourself with some other kind of activity. And then if the five comes back to you, then you are kind of in the circle of trust and you can connect there. But fives especially don't like pressure or expectations. So whatever you can do to eliminate those from your interactions with fives, that's all the better. So to sum up, the five communication style is brief and to the point. So to communicate best with them, be brief and to the point. Perhaps consider using text as a way to be especially that way. And what they need most from us is space, honoring their space, and then inviting them to join us without any pressure. Thanks, and see you next week for Style 4.